Ever since the big battle, the world had changed. Heroes were learning to live with powers. And the playground? It was full of flying, and lifting things way too heavy. One quiet evening, as stars blinked overhead and the children slept peacefully, a new light blinked far beyond the sky, in the blackness of space, as second signal each had the same energy as the meteor but different. This time it wasn't falling, it was a calling. They trained in secret, guided by their strange but kind teacher, Toma. They leapt higher, struck harder, and combined powers in ways no one imagined. Mark with his mind and flight, Crystal with the cold, and Matt with unstoppable strength. Together, they became more than kids with powers. They became the Rising Three. One morning, just as the Rising Three were getting better at their combos, a strange ship shimmered into view above Earth, sleek, silent, and glowing with that same meteor energy. It landed near the old junkyard where they trained, and from it stepped someone new. A girl their age, a calm look, a glowing wristband. She said only one word: warning. She called herself Mecha, and though she looked like them, she was not from Earth. She was from Leiv's home planet, the same place that sent the warning long ago. A cousin to Leiv, a messenger. Her voice was calm, but her eyes told a deeper story. The enemy that chased the meteor, they're not done. She raised her arm, and her gadgets lit up with swirling stars and alien shapes. They're gathering in the shadows of space. And this time, they're coming for you. As the sun rose the next day, Mecha stood with the Rising Three at the edge of the training field, her gadgets shimmering with energy. She came from far beyond the stars, but her heart? It belonged right here, with them. Leiv smiled proudly. She's my cousin, he said. And she's here to help. Mecha's eyes lit up as she tossed a small device into the air. With a flash, a hologram appeared, an alien map showing star paths, hidden threats, and a warning. A new danger is coming, from a planet lost in time. The Rising Three stared at it, stunned. The galaxy needed heroes again, and now, they weren't alone. Just as the Rising Three and Mecha wrapped up their training, a strange hum echoed through the sky. Above them, a swirling light opened, a portal. Leiv stepped forward, eyes wide. That's a beacon, from my planet, he whispered. A hologram flickered to life in the sky, showing a crumbling alien city. It was Leiv's home, under attack by a dark force more powerful than before. From the edges of the projection, strange shadowy figures marched forward, draining the life from everything. Mecha gasped. That's the Void Empire. They weren't supposed to be real. Mark, Matt, and Crystal stood in silence. They knew what this meant. It was no longer just Earth at risk. The Rising Three, Leiv, and Mecha looked at each other, and knew their next mission had just begun. Just as the Rising Three and Mecha wrapped up their training, a strange hum echoed through the sky. Above them, a swirling light opened, a portal. Leiv stepped forward, eyes wide. That's a beacon, from my planet, he whispered. A hologram flickered to life in the sky, showing a crumbling alien city. It was Leiv's home, under attack by a dark force more powerful than before. From the edges of the projection, strange shadowy figures marched forward, draining the life from everything. Mecha gasped. That's the Void Empire. They weren't supposed to be real. Mark, Matt, and Crystal stood in silence. They knew what this meant. It was no longer just Earth at risk. The Rising Three, Leiv, and Mecha looked at each other, and knew their next mission had just begun. But even as the Rising Three and Mecha trained harder than ever, something strange was happening above Earth. Stars were flickering in odd patterns. Satellites started vanishing without a trace. And deep in the sky, a giant dark shape began to form. It wasn't just a cloud. It was them, the aliens who had followed the meteor across the galaxy, and they had finally found Earth. The stars shimmered around them as the ship emerged from hyperspace. Before the children stood a glowing world, swirling with blue mist, shimmering crystal forests, and floating islands tethered by beams of golden light. This was Planet Grian. The rising three stepped forward alongside Leiv and Mecha, awe in their eyes. But this once beautiful world was now scarred by shadowy machines, left behind by an invading force hungry for power. At the base of a towering crystal canyon, they found it, the ancient temple of Corelight, pulsing faintly with energy. It was once a sanctuary of wisdom, now buried in silence. Waiting in the shadows was a mysterious figure, cloaked in battle-worn armor, one eye glowing with soft teal light. Her name was Zeri Vila, half tech savant, half strategist, and an old friend of Mecha's family. "You brought them here?" she whispered. "Then maybe there's still hope." In the quiet hours of the afternoon, long after school lets out and the world looks the other way, the Rising Three arrive at their secret training ground, guided by their mysterious mentor, Toma. Far across the stars, beyond the reach of Earth's light, lies a planet ruled not by peace, but by power. From the heart of Planet Grian, a tyrant stirs. Chaot, born in shadows, forged in war. His name whispers through galaxies, a name that brings fear. He watched the meteor fall. He sensed the awakening of powers, and he knew Earth had become a threat. Now, he prepares to strike, to claim the meteor's legacy, to bring silence to Earth's rising storm. Deep within the obsidian halls of Chaot's fortress on Planet Grian, shadows twist with purpose. The camera pans across towering statues of alien conquerors before descending upon Chaot's dark throne room. As the tyrant sits in brooding silence, two figures step out from behind the pillars, his most trusted enforcers. Dok, tall, metallic, and menacing, with molten veins glowing through his armor, bows with a fist to his chest. His voice rumbles like an earthquake. The scouts report rising resistance. The children, they grow stronger. Behind him, a flicker of movement, then Glim appears. Cloaked in flowing wires and sleek armor, her eyes shimmer with hypnotic patterns, and her fingers glow with psionic energy. Chaot rises slowly, his cape trailing smoke. With a single gesture, he points to a holographic image of Earth and the Rising Three. Dok, Glim, and Chaot have arrived together on Earth in a powerful, atmospheric shot. Expect a dark sky, dramatic lighting, and all three standing together. Chaot on his throne or hovering above, with Dok and Glim flanking him, ready to cause chaos. Then go, cripple their spirit before they rise too high. Dok clenches his fist. Glim vanishes in a shimmer of violet light. And so, the agents of destruction descend toward Earth, silent, powerful, and unstoppable, or so they think. Just when all seemed lost, the sky cracked open with radiant energy. A streak of icy blue, a surge of telekinetic waves, and a thunderous impact of pure strength tore through the clouds. The Rising Three had returned. With Earth on the brink of chaos, the heroes had come home. They weren't just kids anymore. They were a force of unity, of hope, of power. They were the Rising Three. As the Rising Three face off against Chaot, Dok, and Glim, energy crackles in the air. Chaos is spreading, and Earth trembles under the weight of the battle. Just when it seems like the odds are too high, a golden beam of energy crashes down from the sky, creating a shockwave by four heroes. The villains shield their eyes. The heroes glance upward in awe. Looks like we got here just in time. The sky cracked with light. Thunder shook the city. Earth had become the stage for the ultimate confrontation. Heroes risen from youth, and villains driven by ancient power. Mark hovered in the air, his eyes glowing as telekinetic energy shimmered around him. Matt slammed his fists together, the ground beneath him trembling. Crystal summoned icy winds that spiraled around her. At their side stood Dale, cloaked in mystery, power radiating from his palms. Across from them, Chaot rose with the presence of a dark emperor, his eyes burning with cosmic fury. Flanking him, Dok grinned with a twisted weapon humming in his grip, and Glim moved like a shadow, her blades glowing with poisonous energy. The battlefield exploded into chaos. Mark deflected blasts midair while lifting debris to shield his friends. Matt leapt into battle, clashing with Dok in a contest of brute force. Crystal danced on frozen platforms, firing shards at Glim, who dodged and retaliated with acidic slashes. And then came Chaot, stepping forward, each motion rippling with the weight of galaxies. His power was overwhelming, but the Rising Three stood their ground. For Earth, for each other. Leiv, Dale, and Mecha unleashed their own barrage, each strike woven together like the strings of a cosmic symphony. Together, their power formed a brilliant, radiant force that tore through the battlefield. Dok was the first to fall, hurled backward into a crumbling wall of debris. Glim screamed as a wave of cryo-energy encased her legs, grounding her before a follow-up punch shattered her defenses. Even Chaot, the mighty warlord of planet Grian, roared in disbelief as the blinding force overwhelmed his shield. His throne-like armor cracked, sparks flying as he was launched into the cratered earth beneath him. This isn't the end. This is the beginning of the true storm. A faint rumble echoes in the distance. The heroes exchange worried glances, even as they stand victorious. The villains are taken away, but their warnings linger in the air like a chill. The skies began to clear as the dust of battle settled. The streets, once filled with chaos, now echoed with the sound of hope returning. Earth was safe, for now, but the scars of the invasion would remain, reminders of what was lost, and what was learned. As the Rising Three stood atop the rubble, bruised but undefeated, they looked to the horizon. Around them, the world cheered, not just for victory, but for the unity forged in fire. The meteor was only the beginning. The universe had felt its ripple, and now, new eyes had turned toward Earth. As the final echoes of battle fade into silence, a new light rises over the horizon. The city, shaken, but standing, breathes again. Its people step out from the shadows, their eyes lifted with wonder and hope. And at the heart of this peace, stand the young heroes who answered the call, Mark, Matt, and Crystal, the Rising Three. Beside them, allies once strangers, Leiv, who found redemption. Mecha, a genius from afar, and Dale, the unexpected spark, each now part of something greater. They stood against chaos, not just with powers, but with courage, compassion, and unity. And though the world has changed, the greatest change lies within them. Together, they protected the present, and lit the path to the future. Whatever threats may come next, Earth will never stand alone again. The Rising Three have only just begun. With the battle behind them and peace restored, Leiv stood tall beneath the twin moons of a hopeful dawn. Harnessing the final remnants of the meteor's energy, his technology pulsed with brilliance. Not for war, but for healing. As streams of light reached across the stars toward planet Grian, a new era began. The skies no longer carried fear, but promise. For the Rising Three and their allies, this was more than a victory, it was a beginning.